All right, so today we're practicing the unit circle. Hey, Vic's here. On Monday, y'all are going to be taking y'all's first unit circle quiz, and it's going to be a fill in the blank on the blank unit circle. And then on Tuesday, we start using the unit circle, where you have 10 questions in a certain number of minutes, getting eventually down to 10 of them in 3. So today we're going to practice both of those, all right? So as I mentioned, you can go to Korpi's World on Pre-Cal Matters, download the blank unit circle, and then 2 lines below there, using the unit circle practice. There's the worksheet and the key, so you can finish it. We're not going to get all the way through that, but you can look at the key and see if you can get the right answers without looking. Normally I use Quizlet to do kind of a competition, but we can't use Quizlet anymore on y'all's iPads. It's something happened. So anyway, this is the next best thing. Yeah, I'm sorry, it was the other way around. Kahoot doesn't work. We were told today it doesn't work. People have been trying it on y'all's end. So it is not. Was it before y'all downloaded or after y'all downloaded? Ah, biscuits. Everyone up here was in a holler this morning because the district has it so that we can't use Kahoot on y'all's iPads. But if y'all say we can, I guess we could try it after we do this. We'll try it. Right, maybe that's the deal. Okay, well we'll try it since y'all used it yesterday, right? You used it yesterday. Good question. Okay, good. Thank you. I'm going to download the app once we get started here, and we'll see if we can do that. All right, Robert, here you go. You getting some orthotics made for your shoes? Yeah, yeah. It's good. Did you step into it already? Oh, wow. Pretty cool. All right, so you're going to have 5 minutes on Monday to complete this. Every single dot that you see is going to get an angle in degrees, radians, and an ordered pair, with the exception being 0, that gets 2 sets. Now, when you fill it out, you can fill it out however you want, But I'm going to go ahead and fill it out with you and show you the way that I would recommend filling it out so that you can fill it out correctly in 5 minutes. And I'm going to time it. And I'm going to show you that we do, in fact, finish in under 5 minutes. Are y'all ready? All right, let me choose my pen. I'm going to choose my blue. I like this like blue that I came up with here. The thickness, maybe I'll go a little thicker here. Let's try this out. Okay, that's going to work well. All right, so let's see. The clock is going to start in 3, 2, 1. All right, so the first thing I would recommend is filling out your quadrantal angles. Number 1, that is the place where students tend to forget to come back and do. They're focused on the interior. And number 2, it gives you a nice way to start out because they're easy, I think. So you got 0 degrees and 0 radians, 360 degrees and 2 pi radians, and the ordered pair there is 1 comma 0. So again, here's the only place where you have 2 sets of angles. Now jump up to 90 degrees, and you can write the ordered pair first if you want, 0, 1. If you want to write the angles inside here, that's 90 degrees, and of course y'all know that's pi halves, right? Or you will by Monday. And then our favorite one, the most used one, often used one, -1, 0. We're to the left and not up. That is 180 degrees, and that's also pi radians. What's up, 180 and pi? Good to see you again. And then we jump down here. This ordered pair is 0, -1. And then some people put like -1, 0 there. So just make sure, pay close attention to where the zeros are. And then this is going to be 270 degrees, bless you, also known as 3 pi halves. Now that takes care of your quadrantal angles. Now let's go ahead and do the next set, which would be, for me, the 30-degree angle. So this is going to be, let's see, kind of be consistent. We'll write the ordered pair here. Square root of 3 halves, 1 half. And that's your 30 degrees and pi 6. So every single pi 6 is going to get the square root of 3 halves, 1 half. Remember, the square root of 3 is first. Then we jump over here to the other one. 30 degrees short of 180 is 150. And then in radians, it's going to be pi 6 short of pi, which should be 5 pi 6. And that ordered pair is still square root of 3 halves 1/2, but because we're in quadrant 2, it's left and up. So the x is negative. Jumping down here to the next 30 degrees, which is, again, the first one off the x-axis. The ordered pair is still some type of square root of 3 halves 1/2. Because we're in quadrant 3, it's left and down, so it's negative, negative. And, of course, 30 degrees past 180 is 210. And we got the angle being pi 6 plus pi, which is 7 pi 6. The last 30-degree angle right off the x-axis is still some type of square root of 3 halves 1/2. We're in quadrant 4, so it's right and down, so it's positive, negative. We're 30 degrees short of 360, which is 330 degrees. And we're 1 pi 6 short of 2 pi, which is 12 pi 6 minus 1 pi 6 is, of course, 11 pi 6. So there you go. That takes care of all your pi 6 reference angles. We're only at 2 minutes and 50 seconds, right? We're halfway through the time, and we're about halfway through. So this is good. We're making good time. Now, you could do the 45 next, but I would recommend doing the 60-degree next, just because they're similar, and you want to make sure that you get them correct. 1/2 square root of 3 halves. That's going to be your pi thirds reference angle, which is also your 60-degree angle. So someone last period asked, after the fact, does it matter if the 3 is in the bottom or the 6 is in the bottom for the ordered pair? And I'm like, severely it matters, right? So remember, pi 6 is closer to the x-axis, so it's wider than it is tall. Square root of 3 is first. And then the pi thirds is the other way around. The tall is the y value. All right, so now we do the other 60-degree angle over here. 180 minus 360 is 120 degrees. And we're pi thirds short of pi, which is 2 pi thirds. And that ordered pair is negative 1/2, positive square root of 3 halves. We're in quadrant 2. Straight down now, the 60-degree angle. 180 plus 60, that's 240 degrees. And it's pi thirds past pi, which is 4 pi thirds. And the ordered pair there is negative 1/2, negative square root of 3 halves. And the last 60 degrees short of 300, of course, or 360, sorry, is 300. And then that's going to be 5 pi thirds. And that is going to be the ordered pair, positive 1/2, negative square root of 3 halves. All of these things, by the way, when we grade them, Coach Victor will be grading her class, and I'll be grading y'all's. Unless we switch, that could be fun. Everything's going to be worth 2 points. So there's so many different things on here. Everything's worth 2 points. So if you miss an ordered pair, it's 2 points like for X and Y. So if you miss the entire ordered pair, that's going to be 4. So 2 points for everything all the way around. All right, what do we need? We still need the last one here, or is that done? We need the pi fourths. So let's do the pi fourths next. Pi fourths, I got to pick a flavor for it. Pi fourths. So we're going to have 45 degrees and pi fourths radians, and that's square root of 2 halves, square root of 2 halves. We jump across over here. 180 minus 45 is 135, and that's going to be pi fourths short, so it's 3 pi fourths. And now it's negative square root of 2 halves, positive square root of 2 halves. Down here, 45 degrees past 180 is 225. And that's going to be 5 pi fourths. And the ordered pair there, they're both negative. Negative root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2. And then the last one right here is going to be 45 short of 360, which is 315. And then it's going to be a 7 pi fourths. And then we get positive square root of 2 halves, negative square root of 2 halves. Oh, and that's it. We finished. We finished. Can you do that in under 5 minutes? What does that say, Faith? 4:53. 4:53. That's what we just did this in. And that was me talking you through it. On Monday, you will not have me to slow you down. You could just glide through it. Right? So it can be done. Now, that's how I would recommend filling it out. You could fill it out going just around counterclockwise if you want an extra challenge. But anyway, filling it out is one thing. Using it is another thing. So this is the only time we're going to take this quiz, which is on Monday. Starting Tuesday, we're going to switch to using the unit circle quizzes. which we'll look at here in a second. Any questions on filling it out? Can you practice this ever again on your own before Monday? Yeah. All you got to do is clear it and do it again with a timer. Or copy and paste the page if you want to keep your work right? Because it's a lot to erase. In fact, I'm going to do it next period as well, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to clear it. It kind of seems like a waste, right? I did all that and now it's gone forever. But I don't need it. Let's jump down here. I want to keep it a little bit longer. Good thing there's an undo button, right? In life, everything has an undo button, right? No, it doesn't. Gosh, we need to work on that, huh? You don't need an undo button if you do it right the first time. All right, so if you look on here, there's all kinds of sets. Oops, I didn't. There we go. So on Tuesday now, you're going to be taking a quiz very similar to this one. This will be Tuesdays. It says, see if you can do these in 6 minutes, but we're going to do them in 10 minutes. On Tuesday, you're going to do them in 10 minutes. So you got 10 of them in 10, and notice they're all sine and cosine. All sine and cosine. Now, I'm going to go ahead and clear my watch, and we're going to do these in 10 minutes. Now, I'm going to walk you through how to do it. Now, you may already have a good strategy. If you want to just go ahead and finish all 10 sooner, that's fine. I do these in a 3-step process because after all these years, I still don't look at sine of 5 pi 6 and know what the answer is. I construct it using a 3-step process. The first thing that I always look for is what is the reference angle? Because you can spot that in radian mode. It's pi 6. So I'm thinking in my head, if not writing it down, what the ordered pair is. Okay, it's square root of 3 has 1/2. The second thing I look at is the 5. The 5, 6, since 5 is just less than 6, it's just less than 1, that puts me in quadrant 2. And in quadrant 2, that's negative and positive. So now I have the correct signs attached to my ordered pair. And then finally, step 3 for me is I look at the actual trig function. I want the sine value. Well, the sine is the what? It's the y value. Sine, y, height, 1/2. There's the answer. That took a minute. That's right on pace, right? Questions on that one? Number 2, I see pi 6 first. So once again, I'm thinking square root of 3 halves, 1/2. The 7 pi 6, 7 being just bigger than 1, puts me over here in quadrant 3. And in quadrant 3, I'm left and down, so they're both negative. Now I'm staring at the ordered pair either in my head or I have physically written it down on my paper. You'll have time in 10 minutes to write down the ordered pair. And once you see it, wherever that is, now you can answer it correctly. The last thing is cosine. That's the x-coordinate, so it's negative square root of 3 over 2. Wow, okay. Questions? Nothing to it, right? We gained some time on that. We're at 152 only. Number 3, pi 4ths is my reference angle. I know that's going to be square root of 2 halves, square root of 2 halves. I visualize that in my head. The 3 out of the 4, it's just less than 1. It puts me just short of pi, 1 pi in quadrant 2, where it's negative, positive. And now you want the sign? Well, that's positive square root of 2 over 2. That's the y value. Now we're at 216. We're really making up time now. We're getting the hang of it. You holler if you have a question. Otherwise, I'm going to try and keep going with the clock. Cosine of 11 pi 6. Pi 6 again. That's square root of 3 halves, 1/2. You'll get used to all that, right? 11 is big. That's quadrant 4. So that's going to be positive and negative. I'm all the way around here, positive and negative. You want the cosine? Well, that's positive square root of 3 over 2. It's the x value. Cosine is x. All right, number 5, sine of 5 pi 4ths. Finally, a pi 4ths angle. That's going to be root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. 5 fourths, that's just bigger than 1. So that's just bigger than pi in quadrant 3, where it's negative, negative. And you want the sign? Okay, I'll give you the sign. Everyone's going to make 100 on Monday. Everyone's going to make 100 on Tuesday. I'm excited about that. I like entering triple digits into the grade book. It takes a little longer because it's one extra digit per person, but it's very satisfying. Pi thirds is my reference angle. That's 1/2 square root of 3/2. The 2 out of the 3 is just less than 1. Bless you. That puts you in quadrant 2, where you're left and up. So it's negative positive. You want the sign? I'll give you the sign. It's square root of 3/2. Sine, y, height. Did y'all hear that in y'all's dreams last night or your nightmares last night where you're trying to go to sleep? Yeah. Sine, y, height, sine, height. Ah, make it stop. Your parents come in. What's going on? The unit circle. I'm memorizing it dramatically. Square root of 3/2, 1/2. That's your pi 6, right? 5 out of 6, that's just less than 1. That's over here in quadrant 2, where we're left and up. That's negative positive. Cosine, that's the x-coordinate. That's negative square root of 3/2. I hope you're bored at this point, right? You're like, this is so easy. We're just doing the same thing over and over. That's good. If you're bored, that means that you know it well enough. But don't make careless mistakes because you're not paying attention. Oh, pi halves. Where's pi halves? Well, that's going to be your quadrantal angle. 3 pi halves lives down here. The ordered pair is 0, -1. Straight down. And what's the sine value? -1. Yeah. Sine, y, height. -1. And that's all 10 of them. Or did I skip a few? Yeah. Hey, you know what? You don't have to do these in order. You can do them in any order you want. Let's go back and do number 6. Pi thirds. 1/2 square root of 3/2. 4 is bigger than 1, just bigger than 1. So it's bigger than 1 pi. That puts you in quadrant 3, where they're both negative, and the cosine is the negative value. We're only at 5 minutes and 39 seconds. We have 10 minutes. You want to just doodle before we do the last one? Have you ever played that game MASH? Where you do the spiral and then the person says stop and then you count how many lines are in the spiral and then it tells you if you're going to live in a mansion or an apartment or a shack or a house. Remember playing that back in the day? Yeah. All right. Pi fourths. Pi fourths. That's square root of 2/2. Square root of 2/2. And let's see. 5 is bigger than 4, so it's just bigger than 1 pi. It's in quadrant 3 where they're both negative, and the cosine is the x-coordinate. What if you got confused there and you pulled the y-coordinate down instead? You would be luckily serendipitously fine. Yeah. But you would be wrong but still get credit. I know. I know. You like that? That's having your cake and eating it too, I guess. All right. Look at that. Look at that, Christian. 6 minutes and 50 seconds. And we were goofing around. We practically played MASH, didn't we? Are y'all going to be able to do that in 10 minutes? I hope so. Your thumbs are going to get sore from all the doodling that you're doing after you're done. It's like, cramps. Cramps in my doodling thumbs. Well, we do know 10 minutes is a lot, so that's why we pare it down to eventually 3 minutes. All right. Now, here's what's happening Wednesday. Wednesday, you're walking back in, and we're going to do these in 10 minutes. The same amount of time. But what do you notice about all 10 of these now? Yeah, we have the reciprocals and the tangents and cotangents in there. We have all 6 mixed in there. No problem, right? We got this. Let's do this one together, and then I'll let you do set 3 on your own. This one? But we'll do set 2 together. So this is Wednesday. Wednesday now, the clock starts at 10 minutes. Let me reset it. Okay. Secant of 2 pi thirds. You know what? We're starting the same way. Pi thirds is 1/2 square root of 3/2. The 2 puts us in quadrant 2. We're just short of 1, where it's negative, positive. Now I look at the trig function, and I see that it's secant. Secant is the reciprocal of which one? Remember when you say secant backwards, what does it say, Carson, when you say SEC backwards? Kiss, right? Like kissing, 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 dude. So it's the reciprocal of negative 1/2, which is negative 2. Negative 2. Cosecant of 7 pi fourths. Okay, I got the pi fourths. That's square root of 2 halves. Square root of 2 halves. And let's see, it's a 7. Whoa, 7 is a lot bigger than 4. That's putting me over here in the quadrant 4, where it's positive and negative. You want the cosecant? Cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine. Oh boy. Now the reciprocal of a negative number is a negative number, but what did we say the reciprocal of the square root of 2 over 2 is? It's just the square root of 2. Memorize that. It's a time saver. If you have to re-rationalize, make sure you're dividing out your 2's. A lot of people leave it like this when they re-rationalize, and you will not get credit for that because the 2's divide out. So just remember that the square root of 2 over 2 and the square root of 2 are reciprocals of each other. All right, pi halves, that's a quadrantal angle. You have to recognize those, right? Pi halves is up here. The order pair is 0, 1. Tangent. Tangent's y over x. Better that? See? What's 1 divided by 0? It's dne. It does not exist. The graph has a vertical asymptote there. It's negative infinity on the right side and positive infinity on the left side. It doesn't exist. We'll look at that graph later on. Cotangent of 5 pi 6. Here we go. Pi 6, that's square root of 3 halves. 1/2. The 5 is less than 6, so it's less than 1 pi. It's in quadrant 2, where it's negative positive. And we want the cotangent. Okay. Cotangent is x divided by y. And remember, when you have something like this, tangent or cotangent, your 2's will divide out. So it's really just the x-coordinate of the numerator, or the numerator is x-coordinate, and then the y-coordinate's numerator. So what is it? Negative square root of 3. Yeah, negative square root of 3 over 1, or just negative square root of 3. I'll switch here. Don't leave it over 1, because I want you to simplify it. Just negative square root of 3. All right. Secant of 3 pi fourths. Pi fourths. That's over here. That's square root of 2 halves. Square root of 2 halves. 3 pi fourths. That's less than 1. So that's going to be negative positive. Secant is, again, the reciprocal of cosine. What's the reciprocal of negative square root of 2 over 2? Negative square root of 2, right? Yeah. Don't forget the negative. If you just put square root of 2, it's wrong. R-O-G-N. Wrong. 11 pi 6. This is going to be square root of 3 halves, 1/2. It's another pi 6. 11 is bigger than 1 by a lot. So that's quadrant 4 more than likely. Yeah, it's quadrant 4. That's positive, negative. We want the cosecant. The cosecant is the reciprocal of y, and that's an easy one. The reciprocal of negative 1/2 is negative 2. Yeah. There was a phase where I went through, I was making my 2's like that with loops. And then I was like, no, I don't like that. So then I went to the phase of making my 2's like this. I actually made them like that for a couple of years. And now, of course, I just make my 2's like that. They look like Z's. Is that evolution or devolution? Devolution? Yeah. With the loop in them? Yeah. It bothers me to see a 2 with a loop in it. I don't know why. And then the 3's, right? I started off making my 3's like that, and then I started making my 3's like that because that's how they were above the chalkboard on the teacher's wall. And now I make it like that. What about your 4? Well, the 4's have evolved too. I started making them like that, and then I went about 10 years making them like that. All through college, I made my 4's like that. And now I'm back to that. Yeah. But I still make my 9's like this. And I still make my 7's like this. My 5's I do like that. In one stroke. I think they taught us to do it like this. With 2 strokes. How do you do it? In one stroke? Show me. Show me. Oh, that's what I do. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, way to go. Christian and I make the same fives. Yeah, that's what most people do. The loopy nine is just satisfying to me. All right, I'm sorry. That was my fault. I got y'all off task. What's the cosecant? The cosecant is -2. Ooh, that's a weird looking 2. That looks like a capsized 5. Cinco borracho. I don't know. It's my 2. All right, here we go. Cotangent of 4 pi thirds. Pi thirds is 1/2 square root of 3 halves. The 4 is just a little bit bigger than 1, so it's in quadrant 3 where they're both negative. And I want the cotangent. The cotangent is the x over the y. You could disregard the 2's, but don't disregard the negatives. So what's -1 over negative square root of 3? Square root of 3 over 3. Fantastico. Fantastico. Negatives divide out and you rationalize it. Excellent. Oh, my 8s. I used to make my 8s like that forever and ever, just like that, right? Sometimes I like do a little flare at the end like that, like, whoa, like a Fiesta 8, right? It got carried away with my 8s. So now I just make my 8s as double circles. Yeah. You don't like those? Pi 6. Square root of 3 halves. 1/2. 7. Bigger than 1. Quadrant 3. Both negative. Secant is the reciprocal of x. This is my favorite trig ratio on the whole board. What is the secant of 7 pi 6? Good. -2 root 3 over 3. Right? If you want to see that real quick, you flip it to get -2 over the square root of 3. You multiply by root 3 over root 3, and you get that answer. So hopefully you can do that in your head. -2 root 3 over 3. -2 root 3 over 3. All right. Cotangent of 5 pi thirds. Thirds. Turds. I'm thinking of my first period class again. Oh, I'm kidding. We had a good time this morning. We ate a lot of chocolate. Oh, I'm recording this. I'm bugged. Yeah, no, I love you, first period. We had a good time today. I just wish they would show up to class like more awake, like y'all. We're at 8 minutes and 24 seconds. We're at risk of not finishing if we continued all this shenanigans. 5 pi thirds. That puts us into quadrant 4, where it's positive, negative, and cotangent is x over y. The 2's will divide out. So what is it? 1 over negative square root of 3 becomes negative square root of 3 over 3. Yeah, very good. And then finally, secant of pi. Oh, pi. Pi is over here. What's up, pi? This is -1, 0. And secant is the reciprocal of x. What's the reciprocal of -1? No. -1. The reciprocal of a negative number is a negative number. True or false? The reciprocal of a negative number is still a negative number. True. Now, I will say this, I never did go through a period where I made my ones like this, like consistently. With the serif, yeah. It does. It looks like a lowercase L, and it looks like it should have something else to it. I know. You will? Yeah, just however you move it. Oh, by the way, that's 9:46, so we finished all 10. When I grew up in the valley and they taught us how to do numbers, they actually taught us to do ones like that and sevens like that. And that's why there's a line through the 7 to differentiate it from the 1. But I never caught on to the 1 with the little flare on it without the serif on the bottom. It just looked funny. But this is how they taught us back in the Rio Grande Valley. So I kept one of them and abandoned the other. I I like the sevens like that. All right, so that's Wednesday. What's happening Thursday? Thursday, you're going to do the same kind of thing in 8 minutes. Then if you come down here, to Friday, you're going to do the next ones in 5 minutes. And then on Monday, you're going to do it in 3 minutes. Well, on Tuesday, we're going to have a ghost pepper challenge. Okay? What's going to happen? Listen, my voice is getting hoarse from having to laugh so hard. What's going to happen then? You're going to get this. You're going to get a paper. You're going to get a paper on Tuesday that's going to be 60 questions. Yeah. And you're going to have 5 minutes to do it. Okay? This one is not for a grade. Okay? This is not for a grade. No, I'll tell you. It's going to be a competition. Mrs. Skirhock's class is doing this. Coach Richter's class is doing this. And our classes are doing this. And we're going to have an inter-classroom competition. And we're going to see who can get the most correct out of 60 in 5 minutes. And the winner will be crowned the first ever unit circle champion of New Braunfels High School. And there will be a prize involved. The second place finisher will not be the winner, nor will the third place will not be the winner. The first loser and the second loser also get some kind of marginal prizes, like a Spanish-English dictionary. I'm staring at that right now on my shelf. I've been meaning to get rid of that. I might just give that to you. Yeah. The paddle? When? Right now is my birthday. I can't.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Korpi. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 49 years young. It feels pretty good. Feels pretty good.
That is not old at all.
I don't think so. No. No, I don't think so.
You look like you're like 20.
Thank you. Teaching kind of keeps me feeling young, so that's a good thing. The only difference is I feel young except for like the older you get, the more your back hurts, right? So and it's just like my back by the time you're like 85. 49. Thank you. Thank you. I use oil of Olay every night to keep my face moisturized. Is that a moisturizing cream? I use Estee Lauder on my face. Is that a moisturizing cream? CeraVe? Okay. CeraVe? Is that just a face lotion? Oh, okay. I actually don't use that. I'm just naturally young. Here's what I want you to do. I want y'all to do set 3, and I want y'all to do those in 8 minutes, okay? Do these in 8 minutes. I'm going to time you. So on your mark, I want to see if y'all can do it. I want to put a little bit of pressure on y'all because you're going to have the clock ticking next week. Ready? Everyone ready? Go. All right. 8 minutes. You could do this. You got it. Bless you.
Okay.
Bless you again. Did any of y'all ever get Wi-Fi on the iPad, or is it still down? Mine doesn't have it.
I just turned off the Wi-Fi and then turned it back on.
Oh, and that helped? Okay. Isn't that funny how that works? Just like the iPad wants a little attention, right? Bless you. Goodness, I think you're allergic to trigonometry. Oh, yeah, that worked. Thank you.
Good morning, uniforms. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please remain standing for a moment of silence.